Hello students, welcome to a new session and good morning to everyone. So today we begin the class, and in the last class we were speaking about tense and its time, and now today in this class we will speak about verb, finite and non-finite verb. Okay, verb, finite and non-finite. So what do you mean by a finite verb, or what does it mean? So it is actually we need when we talk about the verb being finite or non-finite, we address the relation between the verb and the subject or the sentence. In other words, we are referring to whether or not the verb shows, tense, and follows the subject in terms of number and person, whether it is the first person, second person, or third person, or whatever it is. And finite verb. So here, finite and non-finite verb speaks about the relationship between the verb and the subject. So here, usually verb shows tense, and it is also related to the subject, verb, and the object. There is a relation between subject and the object, and so on. So here we are going to speak about finite and non-finite verb. Finite and non-finite verb. So in finite verb, a finite verb is vital to a sentence and is closely connected to the subject. It shows tense and agrees with the subject in number and person. So as you know, a finite verb is vital to a sentence and is closely connected to the subject. It shows tense and agrees with the subject in number and person. Subject in a number and person. So we will see how it agrees with the subject in number and person. For example, if the subject is a singular subject, verb also will be a singular subject. And if the subject is a plural subject, the verb also becomes a plural one. So here, a finite verb changes the form according to the subject or the sentence. This means that they don't serve as the action of a sentence. For example, we have seen the definition. In the definition, it says a finite verb is vital to a sentence and is closely connected to the subject. Finite verb is vital to a sentence and closely connected to the subject. And so it agrees with the number and person in the subject. Okay, it agrees with the number. I'll write an example here. Okay, it is there in your textbook itself. In your textbook, page number 39. He taught us how to make a pie chart. He taught us how to make a yeah, here it is. He taught us how to make a pie chart. And can you tell me the finite and non-finite verb which is here? Here, he taught us. He taught us how to make a pie chart. So here in this sentence, the subject is the word he. He is the subject in the sentence. And the word taught is the verb in the sentence. And so we can say this is the finite verb which is here in the sentence. Because as per our definition, The verb agrees. The verb agrees with the subject in number and person. Since there is a singular subject, we have used a singular form of the verb in the sentence. Okay. And can you also tell me the non-finite verb which is here? It is to make. To make is the non-finite verb. So we will discuss about all these things in the next class. I mean, no, afterwards. Because when we speak about a non-finite verb, we will speak about it in detail. Okay. Then the next one is in the sentence above, in the sentence, the verb teach functions as a finite verb, and it also shows the tense. Since we used not, we understand that this is the past tense. This is the past tense. For example, we are using teach instead of taught. So how it will come? He teaches us how to make a pie chart. He teaches how to make a pie chart, and it becomes a simple present tense. So with the help of the verb, we can change the form of the sentence. That is why it says the non-finite verb shows tense and change form to agree with the subject in each case. In each case. So there is one more example which is written in your textbook. That is Srikanth teaches English to senior students. Srikanth teaches English to them. So here we have used the word teaches, and so what happens? It becomes a simple present tense, and it is only with the help of this particular non-finite verb we understood that this is the simple present tense or this is the past tense. So non-finite verb also helps in finding out the tense. Okay. So that is all about it. And the next one. Next one is a non-finite verb. So what do you mean by non-finite verb? So non-finite verbs are not governed by the subject of the tense. They do not show tense and do not agree with the subject in terms of number and person. We take a particular example itself. So here we have seen the word taught is the word which makes a sense in the tense or a sense in the sentence, because it acts in order to show the tense of the sentence. Is it? And here there is one more thing. It taught us how to make the pie chart. To make. So what does it mean? This is also a verb. Make is also a verb. Is it? But here the particular word to make does not show. It just acts as a verb in the sentence, or we can say non-finite verb. So this is not governed by the subject of the tense, and this particular word does not show tense and do not agree with the subject in terms of number and person. Since it is not showing the tense as well as it is not governed by the subject, but the word taught is governed by the word subject or the word he, and so we can say this is a finite verb and this is a clear case of a non-finite verb. So in your textbook itself there is one example which is given. We allowed them to enter the premise. We allowed them to enter the premise. So there are two verbs. One is the finite verb and another one is the non-finite verb. We allowed, the word allowed is the finite verb, and to enter the premises is the non-finite verb which is used in the sentence. We see the second example. Looking in both directions, he ran across the road. Looking in both directions, he ran across the road. So here, the word looking in both directions is the non-finite verb in the sentence. And which is the finite verb? The word ran. He ran across the road. So here we see in the sentence, the verbs enter and look are not connected to the subject. So in your textbook itself, it is there. The word enter and the look is not connected to the subject. Although the finite verb looking suggests the continuous tense, notice that the sentence is actually in the simple past because the main verb ran shows simple past tense. So there is no connection with the non-finite verb. So if the non-finite verb is used in sentence, we say that this is, for example, he taught how to make a pie chart. So we cannot say that since seeing the word make, we cannot say that this is the sentence which is in a simple present. But this sentence is in a simple past because the finite verb is taught. So here the subject agree with the finite verb, not with the non-finite verb. Okay. And there are some examples or there are some clarifications which are given in your textbook itself. So we will just see that. So here there are some examples like I'm trying to get tickets for the show. So the word I'm trying is in a present continuous and the word to get. So by saying the word get, we cannot say that this is a sentence which is in a simple present, but this is a sentence which is in a present continuous. And see, they had told us to stay inside the classroom. Had told, it's a past perfect tense, and we cannot judge that particular sentence with the help of the word to stay because it's a non-finite verb. It does not agree with the subject in number and person, and so we don't care about the form of the non-finite verb. So in the sentence, the verb which is directly linked to the subject in terms of number and person, and which shows tense is be. For example, I'm trying, that first person in a singular, or if which is in present tense. In the second sentence, the verb had told is in a past perfect. So the subject is they, which is in a third person plural form. So this is all about it, finite and non-finite, and we have some types of non-finite verbs. Some types of non-finite verbs. So we'll see which are those. So, here we have there are three kinds of non-finite verbs. There are three kinds of non-finite verbs. So one is participle, then we have gerunds, we have infinitives, and we have infinitives like bare infinitive and full infinitive. So that's all about it. So we have participles, gerunds, infinitives, and these three. So there are three of these. So we'll just see each one of those. Okay. Okay. So participles. So what do you mean by participle? So here participle means that participles are the word and ending with the ing, ed, ing, ed, en, then d, t, and n. So here we have ing, ed, d, en, uh, t, n forms of verbs in sentence. So participle forms are this. The words ending with these forms, that is ing, ed, en, d, t, n forms of the verb sentences are known as participles. For example, the present forms are expressed with the ing forms. The present forms are represented with the ing forms. For example, an ongoing or incomplete, an ongoing, ing, ongoing. For example, I saw a man carrying a basket of fruits. I saw a man carrying a basket of fruits. So here the word carrying is the participle used in the sentence. And so, and the next one, past tense. So past tense will be used with ed, d, en, yes, and so on. So here it shows in order to complete action or completed actions are shown in the past tense. Stated something. For example, blinded by rage. Blinded by rage, he stormed out of the room. Blinded by the rage, he stormed out of the room. So here the word blinded is the participle which is used in the sentence. And we have perfect, having plus past participle. Having plus past participle form is used in the sentence. Here, having plus past participle is used in order to show an action completed at some point in the past. Perfect form, that is having plus past participle, is used in order to show an action completed at some point in the past time. For example, having slept late, he could not get up early next morning. So here the word having slept late becomes the perfect form, that is having plus past participle. So here having is used as well as the word slept is also used. So the word slept acts as a perfect form in the sentence. Okay. And now, so this is the participle form, and we have gerunds. So you know what is gerund? Gerund means ing form of the verb is known as the gerunds. So gerunds are verbs ending with ing that function as noun. Just as a noun or a noun phrase can act as such subject in sentence, so can a gerund or a gerund phrase act as the subject in the sentence. We'll see with the example. That will be a little more easy. So here, he thought shouting would make people take him seriously. He thought shouting would make people take him seriously. So that is the example which is there in your textbook, page number 41. So here the word thought is the finite verb which is used in the sentence, and the word shouting, this is the gerund which is used. That is the non-finite verb and the non-finite gerund which is used in the sentence. So the word shouting becomes a non-finite verb and it is also a gerund. The second one, shouting at others is not the most effective way to communicate. Shouting at others. So here the word shouting at others becomes the non-finite verb that is there, or the gerund that is used in the sentence. So here, study the, so notice how the change in the subject the main verb changes, but gerund remains unaffected. So it is said that walking is good for health. I like walking in the evenings. So that you have seen two types of usages with the same verb. Okay. And we have the last one is infinitive. We have infinitive. So this is commonly used form of verb combines the base form with the two. Okay. For example, I forget to remind him of the doctor's appointment. I forget to remind. So here, to remind is the infinitive that is used here. For example, to be lazy is not my nature. So to be is the infinitive that is used. Then we have a bare infinitive, that is the form or the infinitive which uses the base form of the verb without to is called the bare. For example, they listen to the leader speak to them of the great things to come. Or else, I let him cry his heart out before saying anything. So bare infinitive means, so we know what is infinitive, that is to make. To make is infinitive, and this is called full infinitive because to plus base form of the verb is known as the infinitive, and we can call it as a full infinitive. And what is bare infinitive? If we use the word make only, what will happen? It becomes the bare infinitive. For example, he let him cry his heart before saying anything. So here, what does it mean? Here, the word cry is the infinitive, and it is the bare infinitive that is used in the sentence. Okay, so this is all about it, and we have spoke about finite verb and the definition, that is verb. A finite verb is vital to a sentence and is closely connected to the subject. It shows tense and agrees with the subject in number and person. So we have said about non-finite verb, and we also saw about non-finite verbs. So non-finite verbs are governed by subject or the sentence. They do not show tense and not agree with the subject in terms of number and person. Okay, so we have seen all those, and then we also spoke about the three types of non-finite verbs. One is participles, gerunds, and the last one is finite verbs. That is bare infinitive, non-finite, and bare infinitive, and so on. So this is all about the session.